something has shifted. The silence no longer feels like abandonment. It feels like preparation. You're not chasing anymore. And yet, his energy keeps drawing closer. The divine masculine is returning. Not just texting, calling, or showing up on your feed, but energetically stepping back into the contract you both signed long before this lifetime. But how do you know it's real? How do you discern between hope and actual soul alignment? Today, we're unlocking the undeniable signs that begin to show up when your divine masculine is on the path back to you. Not as the runner, but as the awakened counterpart. These signs will show up in your dreams, in your emotions, in your body, and in the synchronicities that surround you. Let's begin this sacred decoding together. The emotional shift you can't ignore. Before he sends a message, before he shows up in your reality, there's a shift inside you, and it begins quietly. Suddenly, the ache is softer. The anxiety that once gripped your chest loosens. You're no longer watching the clock, checking your phone, or scanning the energy for his presence. Instead, you feel peace. Not because you stopped loving him, but because you stopped needing the outcome. This is the first sign he's returning. Your emotional body settles. You're no longer tethered to the timeline. You're anchored in yourself. This inner calm is not passive. It's not giving up. It's alignment. Because as the divine masculine begins his journey home, your soul receives the signal dash, and it prepares you through stillness. You start feeling whole, not hollow, centered, not craving, empowered, not waiting. And that emotional maturity, that sacred neutrality, that's what his soul responds to, because your peace becomes the portal through which his return can unfold. It may come with spontaneous waves of gratitude, moments where you just know, he's thinking of me, he's healing, he's coming, and you don't question it. You just feel it. This emotional shift is the sacred ground. The reunion cannot land in chaos. It lands in readiness. Unexpected synchronicities that whisper his name. The universe speaks in symbols long before it speaks in form. And when your divine masculine is on his way back, the signs won't scream. They'll whisper. You'll begin to notice synchronicities so subtle, yet so personal, you can't help but pause. You see his birthday on receipts. You hear his name in conversations between strangers. You turn on the radio, and there it is. Your song, playing out of nowhere, at the exact moment your heart was the quietest. Repeating numbers like 1111, 222, or 717 start following you. Not randomly, but rhythmically. They're not just angel numbers. They're activation codes. They tell your subconscious he's waking up. The path is aligning. Stay present. He's closer than you think. You might feel drawn to certain places where your energies once merged. A park, a dream location, a city. You might run into mutual connections after months of no contact. And the dreams, they become more vivid. You're not just dreaming of him, you're dreaming with him. You wake up with tears, with a heart full of knowing, with a sense that something real happened in the astral. These synchronicities aren't trying to make you obsessed. They're not there to keep you trapped in longing. They are confirmations. They are cosmic winks from your guides, from his higher self, that something sacred is stirring beneath the surface. And if these signs have been showing up for you, this is your reminder. You are not imagining it. You are not delusional. You are aligned. If you're experiencing these signs and want more guidance on your twin flame path, this is the perfect time to click subscribe and stay connected to this sacred space. You are not alone, and this journey is real. The masculine's energetic pull begins to intensify. This is when things start to shift from subtle to undeniable. Out of nowhere, you feel him. Not just a memory, not just a thought, but his energy in your space, in your aura, in your body. You may wake up feeling as if someone was holding you in your sleep. You may feel warmth in your heart space, pressure in your chest, or a wave of emotion you know isn't yours. Because in the spiritual realm, the divine masculine is reaching out, not with words, but with frequency. You'll feel sudden pulls toward him, random surges of emotion, waves of love, or even brief flashes of his inner struggle. He might be going through a dark night. He might be stepping into his awakening. But now you're feeling it, because your souls are syncing again. There's a tug in your solar plexus, a vibration in your sacral chakra. You may even feel heat in your spine, signs that his kundalini is activating. This isn't fantasy, it's telepathic merging. As he prepares to come back, he begins to test the connection with his energy. He sends it toward you, to see if your soul is still open, still receptive, still radiant. But this time, you don't lose yourself in the pull. You anchor, you feel it, and you bless it. You hold space without grasping. You send light without clinging. And in doing so, you mirror back to him the very wholeness he is seeking. This is when the magnetic field between you both begins to hum, softly, then loudly, until the separation starts to collapse. Because the closer he gets to himself, the closer he gets to you. When his life begins to fall apart, to come together. Here's the part no one talks about. Before the divine masculine comes back to you, his world often unravels, not as punishment, but as preparation. You may not see it in the 3D yet, but spiritually, emotionally, energetically, he's entering the storm. Jobs that once gave him purpose begin to feel meaningless. Relationships he clung to for comfort suddenly feel hollow. People, habits, and distractions start falling away. And what remains is truth. But truth often arrives wrapped in chaos. This is the tower moment, where everything false must collapse, so that the soul can finally rise. You may start sensing this before it happens. You'll feel sudden surges of sadness, confusion, or even fear. But they aren't yours. They're his. His higher self is transmitting them to you, because he's finally facing the very things he spent years avoiding: his pain, his wounding, his shadow, and his love for you. When the masculine is returning, you'll often witness his life cracking open, even from afar. Maybe you hear he left a karmic partner. Maybe he moves cities. Maybe you just sense that he's breaking free from the roles he was never meant to play. This breakdown is sacred, because the soul can't return to love until it releases everything that isn't. It's not your job to save him. It's not your role to interfere. But your awareness, your grace, your stability is felt by him, even when you say nothing. And that support, silent, soul deep, and unconditional, is often the very light that helps him navigate the dark. Because what looks like falling apart is actually him falling into alignment. Reunion energy, what you'll feel right before he arrives. There's a moment not marked by a text, a call, or a knock at the door, but by a sacred stillness within you. You wake up one day and something feels complete. The ache is gone. The question marks are silent. You no longer need signs, answers, or proof. You just know he's coming. This is reunion energy. It arrives quietly but unmistakably. It wraps around your body like a warm current. It shows up in your breath, in your posture, in the way you carry yourself. You begin to feel ready. Ready to see him again, without losing yourself. Ready to speak your truth, without fear. Ready to receive, without control. There's a divine calm that settles over your heart, not because you're certain of the outcome, but because you're rooted in the outcome that matters most: your alignment, your wholeness, your truth. And in this space of sacred surrender, your field becomes magnetic. You start attracting more love. You notice new connections forming. You find yourself smiling for no reason. The world feels softer. Your body feels safe. That's when you know your vibration has shifted to welcome him back. Because it's never really been about waiting for his return. It's been about becoming the version of you who could stand at the door of reunion and say, "I remember you, but now I remember me too." If you felt even one of these signs, trust it. Your soul knows before your mind does. And if this message resonated with you, now is the time to click subscribe and stay close to this sacred space of love, remembrance, and rising. Drop a comment below if you've been sensing his return. What signs are showing up in your life? You are not imagining the shift. You are preparing for it. Until next time, honor the energy, trust the timing, and walk in your light.